Hello and welcome to Startup to Scale Up. I'm Avni Raja. On today's episode, we're putting the spotlight on a backpacker hostel chain, The Hosteller. Let's take a look first. Backpacker hostels are on the rise in India, and one brand that has taken the lead in this space is The Hosteller. This startup, which commenced operations in 2014, offers affordable pricing coupled with a range of experiential products to its customers. This strategy has helped it develop a strong presence in the north with occupancy rates well above the industry average. And joining me on the show is the founder and CEO, Pranav Dangi. Pranav, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us. Welcome to Editor G. Let me start off by asking you, what made you quit your corporate career and get into the startup space and start a hostel chain?
Oh, I was not in the right frame of mind then, I suppose. But yeah, jokes apart, what led me to start the hostler was my uh, long love for travel. I come from a place called Mount Abu in Rajasthan, the only hill station in Rajasthan. I have seen travel, hospitality, tourism all my life, all around me. And luckily, I got I would say, a chance to visit Europe. I did a backpacking trip, a solo backpacking trip. That's where I got introduced with the concept of backpacker hostels and came back to India, did my research for an extensive period of 12 months, figured out that, okay, there's a big space, a big gap in the entire hospitality segment. And
Right.
that is what we wanted to capture by starting the backpacker hostel chain. So yes, this led me to begin my journey, my entrepreneurial journey, and quit corporate life.
Okay. So, can you take us through the business model, and if you could also elaborate a little bit on the revenue sharing model that you've spoken about?
Okay, so our business model is that we identify good 40 to 50 keys assets, commercial assets in the market.
Okay.
Once we have identified these assets, we take these on long term leases, which is 10 years, 15, 20 years. And then we do a very extensive brand standardization exercise across these properties. Once these properties are as per the brand guidelines, we operate these properties for the entire term of the period. So we are essentially an operator model, similarly as to how Domino's is in the food space, especially the pizza category. Yes, so our model is more on the lines of operating rather than franchising, rather than anything else for that matter.
Okay. In terms of numbers, how many hostels do you currently have? The current occupancy rates? So what can you tell us about your financials? If you could run us through some numbers.
Sure, sure. So let me begin by telling you that we operate around 55 properties in the country at the moment.
Okay.
And by March, we should be around 75 properties, making us the top five hotel operating chain in the country. Uh, Currently, we operate around 25 rooms, 2,500 rooms split over these 55 properties. This year, and especially, I would like to stress on this point that we are an EBITDA positive company. Since last 18 months, we don't burn to earn money. Our top lines are somewhere close to 60 crore this year, and we have a healthy EBITDA margins on top on that.
And where would you get most of your bookings from? Is it via online travel agents or direct?
So we have built this company organically since day one. We have focused on a lot of branding initiatives, marketing initiatives, educating the market in the beginning, uh, doing a lot of brand, I would say, customer acquisition strategy to retention strategies. And that is why we command a 50% revenue coming from direct sources, which is, I would say, highest in the industry. The remaining 50% comes through OTAs. We work with established OTAs like Booking.com, Make My Trip, Go Ibibo, Airbnb, who contributes the remaining 50% of the business.
High volumes would be a big factor, in ensuring business sustainability. Is that difficult, you would say, especially in locations where seasonality is a big factor?
So to be precise, we are a 72% average occupancy company right now,
Okay.
where the market stands at around 55%. Uh, but yes, if you consider entire 55 properties portfolio, we would have at least 5 to 6, I would say 10% of our portfolio which is very seasonal. For example, cities like Jaisalmer or Pushkar, for that matter, they are very seasonal because of I would say weather constraints in these places. Whereas cities which are such as Delhi, Bangalore, Goa, the season is 12 months. We don't see a dip in any of the month. However, if we consider the entire brand, we are a 10 to 11 month season brand. We do have 1 month off season, which is needed also, given we work 365 days 24/7. So yes, a 1 month of off season is a good period to refresh, re-energize, and get back to business.
Okay. Now, as far as the hostel chain like the Hosteller is concerned, one big advantage can be the experiential factor that you offer to people who choose to stay there. How are you incorporating that aspect to draw people to the Hosteller?
Absolutely. So when we decide to open a new destination, we just do not open one or two properties over there, but we come up with 20 other products which are experiential products all around that destination. Let's say if I have plans to open one property in Goa, I would come up with a lot of experiences such as heritage tours, church tours, pub crawls. We would do a lot of adventure activities, water sports. We will do a lot of trekking, hiking, day tour sort of activities in and around Goa, which gives the customer not only an option to just choose us for staying purposes, but he gets a holistic 360-degree experience by booking us. We act as a single one-stop platform for that travelers staying needs. I would say experiential needs, F&B needs, and any other need that he or she might have while they make a plan to travel.
So,
Yeah.
what do the expansion plans look like for the Hosteller going forward, in the medium to slightly longer term?
Sure. So we are predominantly in the northern part of the country at the moment. We have around 45 properties in north, around 10 to 12 properties in the south. So this year we are going to build further in the southern part of the country. We have plans to add another 50 to 60 properties in south of India, where states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala has a huge potential. Newer destinations are coming up in these states. These states have tier one cities like Bangalore, Bombay, Pune, and bigger cities. So there's a huge demand which is still not catered to. So the focus for this year is southern part of the country, while not neglecting definitely the northern part that contributes a lot to our business, and we will keep on building over there as well.
Hmm. Another question I had, in terms of post-pandemic, what we've seen is homestays becoming very popular. Has that had any kind of impact on your business?
So homestays sell their entire homestays as a single unit. So homestays customers are basically families, bigger groups. I would say corporates which are less than, let's say, 25 people team. All those things become demand channels for the homestays who sell their entire homestay as a single unit. Whereas we, I would say, compete directly with hotels because we sell single units. We do not sell the entire hotel as one, but we break it into number of rooms and we sell it that way. So for us, homestays are not really a competitions. Homestay, or I would say villas, are not a competition. However, hotels, boutique hotels, resorts, these are our competition, and we I would say we have a very strong strategy when it comes to competing with them.
Right. And I think the way the room rates have been going up as far as hotels, resorts have been concerned, more and more would be driven to, chains like yours.
Absolutely. The world has gone crazy after COVID. Rates that used to be, let's say, 10,000 rupee a night has gone up to 50,000 rupee a night. And surprisingly, and to the best of our I would say surprise, the world has reacted by paying or availing these services at such higher costs.
Hmm.
But but to say we are in the budget segment. We cater to people who are Gen Z, who are millennials, who are experiential people who wants to just not come for a stay purpose, but to see the city, to learn about the city, to learn about the heritage, food,
Right.
culture of that particular destination. And I think this space of backpacker hostel is going to go to see a tremendous growth in the coming years.
Right. That actually brings me to another question in terms of, the target market that you have. Obviously, it's the younger generation, the backpacking generation, like you pointed out. But is there a sort of any thought on sort of diversifying that a little bit, attracting even the slightly older generations to sort of come and, be a part of the hosteler kind of chain?
See, we do not restrict anyone who is above 18 years of age to come to our properties and experience something new. We have had people who were 85 years old, and they rode their bike from France to India, uh, and then they experienced our hospitality. Okay,
Hmm.
so those who are even old in age but young at heart, those who want to experience newer things, meet new people, uh, our hostels is like their homes. They are always invited. But to tell you, we as a brand would sooner or later would want to become a house of brands. We would not only want to be in the budget segment, but we will want to venture. We have the plans to venture into boutique hotels, which are built on the lines of community living. But yes, we have those plans to become to turn the brand into a house of brands sooner or later.
Right. So, what kind of fundraising plans would you have in terms of to carry out all of these expansion plans?
So we have been in the market trying to raise funds. You know how 2023 has been
Yes.
coined as winter funding, the funding winter for the entire year. However, the market is now responding pretty well. We have gotten a lot of response from the investors that we are speaking with, and I think in the next few I would say 1 or 2 quarter, we are a very strong brand. We have built our brand on a very strong philosophy, very clear mindset, and our business speaks for itself. And I think in the next 1 or 2 quarters we'll be able to close something.
Right.
Yeah.
Pranav, what would you say has been, the biggest challenge or couple of challenges that you faced in building up this entire business?
So the first few years was educating the market. If we used to promote hostel as a as an accommodation, people had that emotion and their thought process that hostels would be something with restrictions, with a warden, and all those things where Indian mindset has always been, I would say, tailored into. However, the recent years have been challenging from the point of view of finding skilled manpowers.
Hmm.
Uh, the biggest challenge in hospitality sector right now is that nobody wants to leave their performing employees. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
everyone is on the rise. The sector in itself is seeing a huge demand. So there is a dearth of human resources in this particular space. Uh, and we are mitigating those challenges by, I would say, incorporating a lot of tech developments on our end. We are trying to automate a lot of processes where humans were earlier needed, uh, and thereby reducing our dependency on human to a great extent. However, this is we are in the operating model. We need presentable, well, I would say, educated and hardworking individuals to be the face of the company. And I think we will sooner or later overcome that challenge as well.
All right, Pranav, we leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us.
Thank you, Avni.